KPFK Media and Cut to the Chase present a candidate forum of LA's mayoral candidates. There's 3 ways to vote: by mail, by Dropbox, or in person.
Thank you. All right. Now we're going to throw it over to our questioners. Jan, you want this is Jan Robinson Flint with the Black Women for Wellness.
But at any rate, thank you, Syvestor. Thank you, Maria. So what I was going to say, and I think there are 3 mics up here that folks can answer questions with or be prepared to answer questions with. So Syvestor and I have known each other about 40 years. And we were having a discussion on El Haj Malik El-Shabazz, Malcolm X, whose birthday would be celebrated on May 19th. And one of the great speeches that he gave was the ballot or the bullet. And he did that in Detroit in 1964, which was before the Voting Rights Act was signed. So here we are in 2026.
A point of information, he did, that was the name of the speech, but he did several of those speeches called the ballot or the bullet. The one she's speaking of is the most iconic one. Go ahead.
All right, so then therefore I will get to the question as opposed to the prelude, since there's been. So here we are in 2026, and once again, on a national front, we are having lots of challenge to people's voting rights, right? If we look at Tennessee, if we look at Alabama, if we look at Mississippi. And when we look at California, some of us feel we don't have a challenge to people voting, but maybe we do. Maybe we have 26% of the people who are undecided about who to vote for, perhaps because folks have given up on democracy. So what do you say to those 26% of the people who are still undecided?
Yeah, great question. So the first thing that I'll say is stop voting for money. Right? This is the problem. We keep voting for money and we wonder why this city and this country isn't working for working class people, right? Karen Bass, establishment money. Adam Miller, billionaire money. Spencer Pratt, nepotism money, right? And these are the people, because they have money, they get visibility. I encourage everybody, look down ballot. These candidates, there's a lot of great candidates here. They're fantastic candidates. They deserve your vote. You should be considering them. Don't just look at the money interest. It's our civic responsibility to look down ballot, see who those candidates are that we can support and help raise them up, because that's how we win. People helping people, not money. So I encourage everybody, start looking down ballot, find a candidate that you like. They're out there, and support them. Get involved. An hour, 2 hours a month makes a huge difference to any of these campaigns, I promise you. It's more important, more valuable than money. So don't give up. Look down ballot, vote for somebody who really represents your interests, and I promise you it won't be somebody who's coming from money. So that was what I would say to the voters.
Anybody else want to hit that? When you come up, just say your name before you start the answer.
Andre Solivra.
Thanks, Andre. Very passionate. Guys, listen, I feel your pain. A lot of people have given up on our democracy and they think our votes don't count. But I urge you to understand that they do count. The biggest thing that they did was fool us into thinking our votes don't count. Look at each candidate, read about their policies, and pick the candidate that works for you. I say to the 26% that are undecided, I understand why you're having a hard time choosing, because they're only presenting you with 3-4 choices. But there are plenty of people running for mayor who truly care about this city and who have plans. I urge you to go look at my website, which I have a focus on public safety with a regard on women's safety, because I'm very focused and concerned about women's safety in the climate that we have today. I'm focused on economic revival, focus on candidates who speak to the needs that you have. But we're here and we're ready to fight. It's not easy to put yourself out here and run for mayor, but we're doing this because we care about the city. So to anyone who's feeling unsure or uneasy, I ask that you dig deep for hope, because it is there and we are here. We're here to fight for you. Thank you.
So I have a little bit of a different perspective on this. As I've been campaigning, one of the things that I've found is that people don't have the space, because we're getting hit with the war in Iran, we're getting hit with affordability. And so one of the solutions that I offered is something I'm calling the LA Now app. Earlier I forgot to mention I have 2 decades experience as a creative executive, working in tech and film and various other industries in the city. So I developed this app. And so one of the things of the app that I think is great is that it gives the space for it. Because how many people here could have shown up if we actually had push notifications on something for like a town hall? Or having better access to the candidates. Because they're right, there is so many good candidates up here that we're not seeing. So I really think that if we use technology to push accessibility, that's going to be a great way to get more people involved. And that's what I would be pushing for as mayor.
All right, so this is Asad Al-Najjar. My platform is based on change and reform. I have a little of a cheat answer coming in from the wall when I came in. I was very impressed with what it's saying there. It says, I call for the people. I worship and kiss the land under their feet, and I will serve them the way they need. This is something really touched my heart, and I'm going to go by it, and I'm going to adjust my platform to that. We are here because we all love Angelenos. We are here all to serve Angelenos. We have a failed mayor. Yes, I see her every Monday and Friday, and believe me, if she listens to 1 in a million of what I say, she wouldn't be in the boat where she is. We have a failed councilwoman. She's lucky CD4 is running the way it is because the people she got know what to do. Right now, change is imminent. You need to find the people, such as myself, who's been building the city, and now they need a chance to maintain it for you, to bring it back to its golden age. Thank you very much.
This is John Logston. Okay, yeah, to the 26%, this is what I'd like to say. I am the mayor that everybody wants, they just don't know yet. And I like to say that because, the media, they kind of just go for the top 3, top 4, top 5. And then everybody else is kind of just down here. And I know that firsthand, and I know a lot of us do firsthand. So for the 26%, I think you just got to do some research and look into it, because there's a lot of people that you're just not seeing at the top. And I also like the idea of ranked choice ballot voting, because I think and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like you can vote for like 3 people, right? And so you maybe pick your top choice, and then your second choice, and your third choice. And then it kind of weeds out from there, because if everybody does it, maybe you get the first top play, the person that is in the media, but then other people are picking people further down the ballot. So that's what I like to say. I know it's kind of a game, this whole mayor thing, and any election, so to speak. So I've learned a lot since I've been in it, and it's very interesting, so to speak. Thank you.
I want to give a kudos to those 27% who I think is a very independent-minded, and that's what it takes. We want people who think for themselves and make a decision based on their own study of the issues and the people they vote for. And I want to give a good applause to them. I want to say that this is we have a historic opportunity at hand, and it's good that we are so many undecided voters, because if you vote for those 3 others, unfortunately, I never saw them in the same podium or place ever. So I don't know where they are. I never saw them. I don't think I'll see them, in a few days before the voting take place. So I want to say that my passion is for the homelessness, and it's recovery first instead of the housing first. We have a problem. We're going to have the same problem 4 years ago if we elect the same people. And we're going to have the same people shouting there's a crisis, our city is going down, there's going to be emergency declared from the day one. We're going to say the same thing after 4 years. So we applaud those people who are still undecided, and make a decision based on your own study. Make sure that you make your own independent decision. Thank you.
How many percent you said this?
I said 26, but who believes in polls?
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. I'm Reverend Ray Huang, and
The truth is, it's not that it's only 26% that's undecided. The truth is that 70% of Angelenos sat out of the primaries the last time we held this election. It's not that we have undecided voters. It's that we have people who live here who do not feel represented, who do not feel like this city belongs to them. Right now, what we need to do is to challenge the way that we are currently running our government and our systems, because it's not meeting the real needs of Angelenos. Our system is bent towards retaining power, hoarding power and wealth into the few. The reason why so many people right here have never been represented in politics, while we haven't been heard, is even in that poll you're talking about right now, did not even include our names, right? I believe my name might have been included, but.
Loyola missed you.
Yeah.
Loyola excluded you.
Oh, there we go.
100 students from outside Los Angeles.
So here's the reality. We need a full-on change. And what that looks like is being able to put that wealth and power into our hands. And the way we do it is by fundamentally changing how we vote and make decisions in our city. And that includes participatory budgeting, where we get to decide where our money goes and how we make decisions in the city. Sorry for my time.
All right, so we're going to move on to the next panel of questioner. We'll come back to you, Jan. Black Lives Matter grassroots. They did a survey, an online survey, to find out what the people wanted, not what money wants. So the online survey, our next panel questioner is Charlie. He is going to, his questions are going to revolve. Well, go ahead, Charlie, take it away.
All right, so this people's budget comes out every year, and this year it came out at the end of April. And what it especially looks at is what kind of services that people in LA want with their tax dollar going to the city. And some of the key demands were, on this particular survey of 1,300 people, police funding reduction. Nearly 90% of respondents rejected increases in the LAPD budget, which often accounts for a high percentage of city spending, roughly 46% in previous years, and a shift to public services. Residents advocated for increased investment in affordable housing, mental health, crisis teams, and park maintenance, and reimagining safety, a focus on non-police responses to community issues. And the contextual difference is that the mayor's proposed budget for 26-27, in contrast, Mayor Bass proposes $14.9 billion budget that increases police hiring to 510 new officers, targeting 8,555 total officers. Well, in the context that we have, our country has about 10 times more incarcerated people than other modern countries in the world. Would you say that, would you weigh in on the side that we need more police, more budget for police? Or what do you think of this idea that this people's budget ideas, proposals?
So,
what is your opinion of those?
Go ahead, go ahead. As she's coming up to the mic, I'd like to just say that the reason Karen Bass, she had promised not to increase the police budget, but she did. So a lot of organizations did not sponsor her for that reason. The other thing is, being a black person in Los Angeles, 10% more black people are stopped by the police. So we don't see it as a safety, we see it as something else. It's another gang, another one of the gangs. But anyway, that was your question. Go ahead, Ray.
I am very proud to say that I've been a part of the People's Budget LA Coalition from the very beginning, since 2020, when I was part of the City Hall presentation about the first survey that came out, where we, again, for 6 years, by the way, we've been carrying out this survey. And each time, tens of thousands of Angelenos now have filled out this survey. Every single time, at the very top is housing. At the very top is food security. At the very top is job security, all of the basic needs that we need for us to prevent crime from happening in the first place. Why does crime occur? Because we are in survival mode and we have nothing else to be able to survive with. So the best way to stop crime is by actually providing people's basic needs. And when crisis occurs, because crisis does occur, we make sure that we meet the crisis with what they need to have, whether it's a mental health crisis, whether it's a physical health crisis, right? So I am the only person, the only candidate in this race calling for the defunding of the police, because we need to redistribute that money into things that actually keep us safe. I'm also calling for the firing of Police Chief McDonald, who has not been doing his job in hurting us, in protecting us, and the police need to do their job. So that's why I'm calling up. So next.
Hello, I'm John Logston. So a little bit of a yin and yang with that, but I am like for public safety, and I actually think that we need to have more, like our police force needs to be up around like 10,000. So we are way behind like Chicago and New York, and we have a much bigger geographical area. So, but here's the thing. Technology has been a force for good as far as this, because the accountability of like even having body cams, I know people are worried about like cops pulling people over and actually doing stuff that like has gotten them in trouble in the past, but I think accountability with the body cams has really driven that down. And that's the accountability that we need. Also, I am 100% for having interventions with people that are out, that aren't needing cops. So like this circle team, for example, which goes out and when there is an issue that doesn't call for force like police, you know, then that's the kind of intervention that we need. That's where some of our money should go. So that's where I feel about that. And like, I think what we need to do with all the Olympics, the World Cup, and just how much happens in this city, we just need to make sure that we have a good, solid police force. Thank you.
Good. John saved me a lot of the argument. He already said it. Because he is like me. We're first responders. We work close with the LAPD. Look at it this way. I mean, with due respect to all the candidates, I'm the only candidate that actually works on the balance. None of the mayors that I served under, the 6 mayors except Reardon, did actually understand and look through the budget and understand the budget. Our current mayor has no clue what the budget looks like. Her 9 deputies are totally incompetent to know what's going on. It's very simple. We have a balanced budget in a way, but the net balance, when you come to the police, the capital expenditure versus the operational expenditure, that's where you lose track. And all of a sudden, you have overstressed officers sitting home. So your actual officers serving is down in the 5,400 versus 87 on payroll. And all this has to do that on day one as your mayor, I will audit the budget and fix it. I can fix it. Not only that, I'll use only 80% of it, and 20% will be as unforeseen condition or for the next mayor, or like the 2 colleagues here who deal a lot with the IT budgets, they use it for other stuff. Thank you.
Next candidate, and you have 30 seconds to respond to something that you don't agree with, so feel free to do that.
So for this issue, I think the conversation is like take away money, add money. I think it's actually just reallocating the resources we currently have. You know, replacing the police chief, having a police commission that actually reflects the views and wants of the people, so that they can have better oversight over, you know, people that are doing the bad actors. And then also having good things for the good policing, because there are good cops. So I think that we need to be able to reallocate resources appropriately and be able to have just a better accountability over the police force and a police chief that actually reflects that as well.
Some of you may not know that John was a former police officer himself, so he has a little different opinion about that. I'm also in agreement with John that we need to increase the police presence. I would say maybe about 1,000 or a little more. because I think that safety is a very important engine for the prosperity within our city. So we have a problem with our crime, and that needs to be curtailed. And then somebody said that the judge, the police chief McDonald should be fired. I don't know about that. I think he's doing a tremendous work. I think he's doing a good job at a very difficult situation. I think that right now the problem that we have is a homelessness issue that is so dwarfing the whole situation, where the crime and drug issues are prevalent out there. So we need to curtail. As long as we can curtail and take control of the homelessness, I think you can go a long way to make a less burden for our police department so that we can have perhaps less police officers out there. But right now we need the police officers because we have a FIFA and the Olympics that's coming right now. Thank you.
I'm just going to say one thing real quick. This is John Logsdon. I appreciate it, Andrew, that you think I was a cop, but I actually was never a cop. I was a first responder, but that's it. So thank you. Just clarifying. I'm all about truth. So there you go.
So look, I'm going to answer the question. Yes, I believe in a people's budget. I believe in civic assemblies. My name's Andre Saliver. I'm running to be your next mayor for Los Angeles because I'm representing the people of LA. It's our money. It's our taxpayer money. These politicians think they know better than us where our money should be spent. No, they don't. We need to fight for it. And this is why we don't support LAPD increasing their budgets. Why? Because we see that LAPD has a culture problem. Right? This is the problem. If the LAPD were treating people with respect, with dignity, we might be in favor of increasing their budgets, but they don't. They beat the hell out of us. They fire rubber bullets at us. They violate our rights. They spend $300 million a year in liability payouts. It's a culture problem, and McDonald's responsible for that, and so is the mayor. Right? As mayor for Los Angeles, I'm going to reform culture at LAPD. I'm going to make sure LAPD knows they work for us. They respect us. They treat us with dignity. Even if you're a criminal, you get treated with dignity. Right? That's important. Right? That's justice. That's what our police need to stand for. And so, yes, I believe in making sure that our police are held accountable. We will not increase their budget until they treat our people better, period. Thank you.
So guys, I wanted to go last because I'm not an engineer, but I grew up in the Bronx, New York, in an under-policed area on welfare. And I don't believe we need less cops. I think defunding the police is the opposite of what we need to do. We need law and order and accountability. Now listen, we are in a new day where there is technology that can hold officers accountable. We can do better training. We can reallocate money into training so we have less liabilities and they know how to do their job better. But I grew up in a neighborhood where there were no police, and it was scary, it was dangerous, and it was very hard to get them to come out and service my area. When you defund the police, I believe that the poorest neighborhoods suffer because Beverly Hills is not having this problem. West Hollywood is having less of a problem. There's going to be police there. But we need to make sure that our police are trained properly, the funds are allocated properly. We also need prevention programs. What stopped me from turning to crime is having after-school programs. It's those programs that gave me insight and gave me inspiration. There's a balance here that we need. We don't need less police. We need better trained officers. We need better emergency response services. We need to be safe in our communities. So I don't think defunding the police is the thing I support. Reallocating funds and making sure our officers are trained and making sure that the people who need it most get the safety and the help that they need. Thank you so much. I'm Tish Hyman.
Just a clarification, it's not to just defund the police, it's to reallocate the money so it goes to other things.
In terms of reallocating the money, here's the thing we also got to understand about LAPD, right? Is that right now, LAPD, the average police officer makes $80,000 to $110,000 in their base salary, and they make another $20,000 to $50,000 in overtime, right? And the reason for that is because they don't want to hire more police officers. They like when there's fewer officers so they can raise their overtime. We need to cap overtime. That's a big part, I think, that we need to start talking about. You shouldn't be able to make double your salary in overtime, and that, I think, is an important thing in determining how we're reallocating the police budget.
Everybody, right? Everybody went?
KPFK Media and Cut to the Chase present a candidate forum of LA's mayoral candidates. There's 3 ways to vote